can begin. First of all, welcome to our very exciting event, which is our fall dinner and award ceremony sponsored by the UCLA Emeriti Association. I'm Fernando, and I have the pleasure to be president this year, and our vice president is Marvin C, who will be part of the second part. And on behalf of the board, on behalf of our executive director, Aisha, raise your hand, who does a great job. We welcome all of you. And before I explain the process, we have our special guest, Professor Levine, our Vice Chancellor for Academic Personnel. He also chairs the awards committee that will give us these amazing individuals. So I'd like to ask VC Levine to say a few words. Thank you, Michael.
Thanks, Fernando. I do sort of do this every year, and it's always a pleasure to join you tonight at the newly named University Club. It used to be the Faculty Center. For this special occasion, the dinner and the conversation with Professor Dino DiCarlo. So, I know Dino for a long time. We both did neuroscience together a number of years ago. So this evening, we celebrate the impact of our Emeriti colleagues and their scholars and mentorship and the dedication that continues to enrich the university and the broader community from all of their accomplishments. And I just want to briefly start out by congratulating this year's honorees, the Dickson awardees, Marvin Alkin in education, and Walter Gekelman in physics and astronomy, and the Carole Goldberg awardee, Gurval in psychology. Their achievements and continued engagement embody UCLA's highest values of excellence and service. I also want to thank you all for being here. I'm going to move away from that. I'm sure you can all hear me. And talk for a second about what's going on. I mean, the university now, all universities, are facing a situation that we've never faced before. And we all need to stay together and to work together to actually deal with the situation and all the things that are occurring. I don't have any more information than any of you about what's going on or what's going to happen. But one of the things Chancellor Frank has pointed out is UCLA has won. And we should remember that and continue to try to do it and maintain it as much as we can, working together as a large group and not being driven by the anxieties and the things that are occurring outside of UCLA. And I want to thank you all for what's being done by the Emeriti and the association, and your continued roles are extremely important to the campus, especially in these trying times. So enjoy the evening, enjoy the talks later on, and celebrate what we at UCLA can do that defines us in today's environment. And I'm going to turn it over to Fernando now to continue.
Thank you, Michael. Those were elegant words. You set the stage for what makes this event quite remarkable. I believe that UC, among our many sister campuses, has this very unique opportunity to recognize faculty who have supposedly retired, but are still giving back, are still active in research, innovative, exciting projects, mentoring, teaching, giving back to the university. And we at UCLA, on behalf of the UC system, and certainly UCLA in particular, is there feedback there? Thank you. And UCLA in particular, take this opportunity to recognize just a sample of these extraordinary individuals. And as Michael mentioned, we'll be introducing those for the Dickson Award, the Goldberg Award, and Dr. Carole Goldberg will do that one, and then I'll also speak towards the Panunzio Award. This is a two-part process, a two-step event this evening. While you're enjoying your wonderful meal, we will do the awards. And then as we wind that up, I'm going to ask the awardees to come up and do their photos. We will also ask each awardee, if they wish, to come up and say a few words. And once we're done with that really fun part of the evening, we go to another exciting part, this exciting dynamic speaker, and our Vice President, Robin, where are you? I think I see you someplace. There you are. Will get us started, lead us off on that, and Stuart, our Communications Director, will then moderate the program. So that's the evening. We won't keep you too long, but we're going to make this a quality event. Before introducing the first set of awards, I should note that the program details their accomplishments. You have that. In addition, Aisha has informed me that they have received their certificates and a monetary award that goes with that. So they've received that formal part. Let me begin by introducing two individuals. And first, this is the Edward Dickson Award, which is a gift endowment from Edward Dickson, a former UC Regent, that honors outstanding research, scholarly work, teaching, and educational service. And we have two amazing persons. I should just add, having sat on the awards committee that Michael Levine chaired, we had so many incredible submissions and applications, so we had great debates, all just outstanding, but those that rose to the surface will be here tonight. The first person, Dr. Marvin Alkin, I think he's seated here in front of me, is a Professor Emeritus of Education who retired in 2004, but continues leadership and a commitment to the field of program evaluation. Among his many accomplishments, two key textbooks, one on evaluation roots and the other on evaluation essentials, which are the seminal and foundational resource for that large discipline and profession of program evaluation. Those books continue to go into a second and third printing, continues to impact his profession. In addition, he continues to serve students and has chaired at least 11 doctoral committees. Let's give a round of applause to Dr. Marvin Alkin. I'm going to ask you.
Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate your recognition of my work. It has not been a chore. I am part of UCLA. It's my life. I retired in 2004, and I have continued to work for the next 20 years doing research, writing, and teaching classes in the early portion of those 20 years. UCLA is a phenomenal place, and I am delighted for the colleagueship that I have received and been blessed with, and thank you all.
Thank you, Professor Alkin. Congratulations. Our second Dickson awardee, Professor Walter Gekelman. Professor, you're here someplace, Gekelman? There he is, yes. I met you earlier. Professor Gekelman is a distinguished Professor Emeritus of Physics and Astronomy, retired in 2020. He continues his scholarly work as a leader in plasma physics and has reassumed, I understand, the directorship of the Basic Plasma Science Facility. He has garnered over $25 million in research grants, and since his retirement, 14 peer-reviewed articles, continues to give back in his specialty and influencing his field. Congratulations, Professor Gekelman. Would you like to come up and say a few words?
Thanks. I'm a plasma physicist. You may not know what that is. But UCLA has one of the best plasma physics groups in the country. And we have a large experimental facility at the edge of campus in a building called the Science and Technology Research Building. The machine that we built about the length of this room uses more electricity than Westwood, so we're not really conserving energy. But you're all welcome to come and check it out. Just email me and I'll give you a tour. This award was a complete surprise. I got an email one day and it said, "You've won the Dickson Award." I didn't know what it was. And so I'm very thankful for the people that have nominated me, and I'm very proud to be here. Thanks.
Thank you, Professor. Our next award is the Carole Goldberg Award. I'd like to have Professor Goldberg to please come up.
Thank you very much, and it's a pleasure always to be at this annual event. It is really also my pleasure to present this year's Carole E. Goldberg Emeriti Service Award, which was established in 2014 as part of a broader initiative to promote the notion of engaged retirement. It recognizes exemplary service by a retired faculty member who continues to advance UCLA's mission post-retirement. And so many of you exemplify that spirit of continued service. This year's awardee has truly excelled in that realm. Professor Emeritus Robert Gurval in the Department of Classics is really an inspiring example of the kind of commitment that we were trying to promote. Since retiring, in a sense, in 2019, he's really used remarkable skills he has as a storyteller and a teacher to bring UCLA's history to life. And he's done it through Fiat Lux courses, through tours that he gives, through lectures that he gives, and then he wrote a beautiful article in the UCLA College magazine called Stories in Stone about UCLA and its history. And as somebody who was involved very much in the celebration of UCLA's 100th birthday, I know that his contributions were very welcome for that celebration. He's also become very sought after by UCLA alumni travel. He provides, this is, I'm sure, mutually beneficial. He's able to share his passion for history and for culture with Bruins everywhere in the world. And at home, he continues to mentor students, to teach classes, even in Latin, to make sure that the department that he is a part of, the Classics department, continues to thrive. What he reminds us is that the spirit of service is alive and well and doesn't really end with retirement, a point we were trying to make in establishing this very award. to enrich our campus and our community in new and meaningful ways. Please join me in congratulating Professor Robert Gurval this year. Please tell us a story or two.
Thank you so much, Carole, for that very kind and generous introduction. It was actually meeting with you, I don't know if you remember, probably it was just before I started to retire, when I was beginning to think about taking an early retirement. This was in 2018, and you were very much in charge of the plans for the centennial in 2019. And I remember asking, so what are we going to do about the history of the campus? How are we going to show the years from the first founding at the Vermont campus, architecture here at Westwood, and you just sort of looked at me and said, well, what do you have in mind? So I started teaching a course, I started researching, and so in the last 6 years, I've been teaching mostly first-year students, giving them a walking tour of campus, of the important buildings. I've been giving tours for various departments and for development on the campus, and learning things, all the time. And I guess I'm perhaps most proud right now. One of the students from my class 2 years ago, who entered UCLA as an urban planning major, just became so enthusiastic about everything about the campus that I encouraged him to apply to teach his own course. Undergraduates, I don't know if people are aware of, are allowed to teach their own course with a faculty mentor. We're meeting every week this fall and winter quarters, and in the spring he's going to teach something certainly inspired by the course he took with me, but he's looking more at how the campus itself has changed because of various social and political events in the last 90 years that we've been at Westwood. So we're talking about how we're going to organize this each week. It's very exciting. He's a remarkable young man, and I'm very proud that he's decided to add an architectural studies major to his urban planning. So for me, in some ways, this is like a second career, because my field is ancient Rome, and I'm still teaching in Rome in the summer, but at least in the winter, I'm giving tours at UCLA. So, Carole, thank you so much.
And if I can just introduce you to two individuals who aren't with us for the reasons why. First of all, the Panunzio Award, we also present that. It's created by a request from UCLA Professor Panunzio that honors outstanding scholarly work and education service since retirement in the humanity and social sciences. This is an opportunity for us at UCLA, the Emeriti Association, to also recognize our colleagues in other campuses. And this year we have two amazing individuals that have been honored and received their awards and their monetary awards. The first is Diane Gifford-Gonzalez from UC Santa Cruz. She is a distinguished research professor emerita of anthropology. Retired since 2015, she's recognized as the foremost authority in zoo archaeology. It's a tough word, zoo archaeology. Her expertise has included the study and preservation of indigenous communities in sub-Saharan Africa and in the California Monterey Bay area from where I hail. So we're honored to recognize one of our colleagues from UC Santa Cruz. The other individual, Professor Howard Giles from UC Santa Barbara, is a distinguished research professor emeritus of communication, retired in 2017. He is a leading scholar in the discipline of Architect of Communication Scholarship, the discipline of communication. Among his many contributions in the state and international and national level, he has used his communication accommodation theory for the benefit of police, campus, community relations. He's worked closely with law enforcement in Santa Barbara, with the UCPD and the Santa Barbara Police Department, and with law enforcement agencies to promote and enhance campus, university, community relationships. So we were thrilled that these two colleagues from these campuses could also be honored in their attention. Please give them a round of applause. As we can all see, we've got just amazing faculty who have retired, and I'd like to use a word like myself, and have failed at retirement and continue to give back in just amazing ways to the UC, as well as to UCLA. This concludes the award ceremony, and as you're finishing your dessert, if you have your dessert, I'd like to see if we can have a photo taken with Professor Gurval and Gekelman.